Okay, guys, welcome back. It is Punt Factor here. We are setting up for round number 3. So let's see. We 2-0 Jund, and then we came across a vampire, like tribal vampires, which was really weird. I have never seen that deck before. We got game 1, and then we pulled out games 2 and 3. So while we're waiting here, let me just go over the deck list. Okay, so it is a straight OG gangster value town. We're even utilizing the one of Azusa, which I'll be honest, I'm gonna cut this card next league. It's such a fun card if you get it. I have like messed around with it in games off camera, and when you get your engine going and you drop a Azusa, it is a ton of fun. I don't feel like it's something. I feel like it's a win more card. I don't feel like it's beneficial enough to warrant a slot. So that's definitely a card that we will be cutting. I do think I want to get a blast zone in here somewhere. I don't know if I want to drop down a ghost quarter or not. Having 3 ghost quarters feels really good. The Gavany Township, I know I was entertaining on cutting for a blast zone, but I'm just not 100% sure. I had originally cut the blast zone because of Skyclave, just being able to wipe, wipe select targets with Skyclave and not really needing blast zone as much. But and then also because I did include the engineer explosives back in the sideboard, I kind of felt like maybe blast zone wasn't super necessary. But and then I remembered that Death Shadow's a thing, and Jund Shadow right now is hot. We did win the die roll, which is great. Look at this hand; it's a beauty. So if we are against Jund. Well, we're definitely keeping this, but if we're against Jund, we are kind of padded for a Thoughtseize or an Inquisition. The Inquisition will obviously take Scavenging Ooze. And then if they Thoughtseize a Collected Company, we still have another company to follow up. So, Swamp from our opponent. Inquisition. They'll probably take, they have to take Skews here, which is a bit unfortunate. So now we're kind of hoping to run into a Courser. Ramanap's also good. So I'm going to go ahead and play the Wooded Foothills. I'm probably actually going to shock in Temple Garden here. We're taking a little bit of damage, but this way we're able to get our fetch land back. So if they don't bolt the Noble, we're going to company. So if I would have played out Forest, I guess I didn't have to shock in the Temple Garden. Because if we rip into a Windswept Heath, we would have been able to go ahead and fetch a Plains, and we wouldn't have had to take the 2 damage. That probably would have been better. But either case, I think it's fine. So this definitely isn't Death Shadow. Okay, so there's a push. That's fine, because the Ramanap wasn't really doing a whole lot right now anyway. So why don't we go ahead and I'm going to hold this company here because kind of rule of thumb that I go by, if you're able to play a land after a company, you typically want a main phase company. Now, the deck changed slightly with Sky. Yeah, we're playing against Jund. It changed slightly with Skyclave because I hate pulling a company when you have Skyclave in the deck and your opponent has nothing on the board. So like right now, we're gonna accompany at end step. If we hit a Skyclave, we're gonna be able to get rid of this Goyf. Couple voices are fantastic in the matchup. They really pat us with Lily. So now going into the main phase, or our main phase 1, we will collect a company because we have a land drop, and that is going to allow us to get max value from our lands. So if we hit like a Courser, we're going to be able to gain the life. There's a Skyclave. So we do have a decision here. So let's say next turn they go Liliana. I don't even care about the down tick. I think I want a collected company and then hold the forest in my hand. Because if they Lily and they down tick, we just kill a voice token, doesn't even matter. If they uptick, we're going to be able to get rid of the land. My fear is that they Thoughtseize away this collected company because this is kind of how we take over the game. They don't know about the Skyclave. Okay, so this is perfect. So there's a couple things we can do. We can... Do we want to get a tracker? So we can Courser. Yeah, we have a Skyclave in hand, so why don't we Courser Tracker? Or we Courser let's Courser Skyclave. Because if we Courser Skyclave, we can get rid of the Goyf, we can swing in for 4. We're worried about a Bloodbraid Elf. Yeah, why don't we just Courser Skyclave, keep their board clear, and then if they play a Lily, we can actually play the Bajuka Bog off the top with Courser. And then keep the forest in our hand, which will be good. So let's go ahead and swing in for 4. I just like keeping the Skyclave in my hand. The Tireless Tracker there wouldn't have been bad, especially now that we knew that we played a Bajuka Bog off the top. However, if they play a Lily, you know, we probably want to... Okay, they're done. I guess we could have just Skyclaved the Goyf anyway and then swung in to kill the Lily. Would have been fine. Whatever. That was a tough call. So Mirran Crusader here. Engineered Explosives, definitely not worth it. We don't want Damping Spheres. Knight of Autumn's... I'm getting pretty close to just cutting from the sideboard anyway because of Skyclave being so strong. And they kind of do the same stuff, right? So, like, right now, Knight of Autumn's kind of in the deck for the life gain. And I could just run, like, Kitchen Finks. And what Kitchen Finks would do is, once again, in these mid-range matchups, like, I would easily bring in Kitchen Finks here and cut, like, my Azusa Ramonette package. Like, why wouldn't I do that? Kitchen Finks is essentially a 2-for-1. It crushes Lily, Edict effects, like downtick effects, sack it comes right back. Their Scavenging Ooze will get around that, but it makes them have a skews. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be another cut, just in general, along with the Azusa. But I'm going to get rid of an Azusa here. I don't mind bringing in Worship against them, because I think... we can get to the point where it's impossible for them to win. And I don't think Excavator is really doing enough. So we could even just bring in like one Worship and drop the sort of land generating package. So 2 Mirran Crusaders, 1 Worship. Seems good. Yeah, seems fine. I tell you what, like Skyclave, I don't know why when Skyclave first came out, another great hand. And actually, we have Mirror Crusader. So another thing with these mid range decks, especially Jund, a lot of the time it comes down to whoever has a Scavenging Ooze. I don't know how many times I've played this matchup, and when you have a Scavenging Ooze and your opponent does not have a Scavenging Ooze, you pretty much just win. So Voice of Resurgence was a wonderful draw. Because if they, let's say they bolt Noble or they push Noble, and I think they're going to feel inclined to do that even if they have a Thoughtseize or Inquisition. Okay, Abrupt Decay. And that's fine, because now we can play out a Voice. So we just want to hit a land in the next 2 draws, which we do, which is great. So let's just go ahead and play the Voice out. Now I can see like a Lily downtick here. And this is probably the best turn 2 play that... Now, they're going to be hard-pressed. They're probably going to want to take the Crusader. But that's tough because, I mean, Courser and Scavenging Ooze just by themselves can take over the game. So, I mean, if they have a Bolt, they'll leave Crusader. And they'll take the Courser. So depending on what they take, it'll kind of give us some information as to what they have in their hand. So they take the Skews. So chances are they have a Bolt. My opponent must know how good Skews is in these matchups. So we're going to go ahead and swing here. There's another Voice. So I think, though, I want to play the Courser out and start getting this engine online. And also, obviously, I can't play the Crusader, so it's either Courser or Voice. We want to try to get... Perfect. We want to try to get our land drop for Collected Company here. And I think we're just going to sort of be able to take over this game. So if they Liliana, we're padded with Voice of Resurgence, which is great. They Bloodbraid. Looks like a Bloodbraid here. Yep. So, let's see what they have. A Goyf. That's fine. Goyf is fine. Tapped out. They're not really going to be able to swing in. So we're pretty safe here. So what I'm probably going to do... So this is actually a really tough call. Obviously, I'm going to Collected Company. But do I want to take the land off the top and then Company? I think I might. And then I'll be able to shuffle away for future turns. Plus, I keep this in my hand for Tireless Tracker. There's the tracker, which is pretty good. So we'll just hold back here, pass turn. They have 3 cards in hand. So if we can untap with this tracker, we're going to play Windswept Heath. We're going to go and we're going to fetch up a Plains. And then we'll be able to actually double spell Mirror Crusader Voice. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm trying to think what they could play that's really going to get us. Okay, a Lily. They're going to downtick Lily, I'm assuming. Now, if they uptick... Okay. That's fine. So we're going to go ahead and get this. Okay, so one beautiful thing here is we're able to play. So let's think about this. We can play the noble. We can swing with the bird over, kill the lily. So that's a line. So we're definitely going to go here. Yeah, we want to get rid of this lily, so let's go ahead and play out a noble. Let's... So we're swinging with the bird. We don't have that mana. 1, 2, 3. We have 4 mana. Let's go ahead. Let's take care of this because we know... And I don't feel comfortable enough swinging in quite yet with anything other than the birds. Because 5/3, yeah, they can double block the token if we swing with the token. And also, we need to get the Exalted trigger to remove Lily, so that won't work anyway. So let's just go ahead and take care of her first. And then decide kind of what we want to play. So, Voice of Resurgence. I almost just want to play another voice. Because that's going to pad us from Lily as well. We'll get a Plains here. There's a Skyclave off the top, which is great. So yeah, why don't we just play another voice? I don't like not using my mana, all of it. But what that voice is going to do is it's going to pad us from Lily. And then it also makes our elemental, just by playing another creature, big enough to kill the Goyf if he swings in. Because there's nothing else I really want to chump with. Like, I want to keep the noble and the bird. And if Lily down ticks, like, I don't want to get rid of either of those, just because the bird can swing over top, and I really like the Exalted trigger with it. So next turn I'll be inclined to... I might even just utilize Gavany here. Fatal Push, that's fine. Get another 6/6, which is pretty brutal. Good card. Okay, so let's go ahead, pump the tracker. Another Courser on top, which is just great. Another Crusader. So 1, 2, 3. All right, let's think about this. So we can Skyclave the Goyf, swing with the tracker, holding up a clue activation. Or we could play a Courser. Maybe we start by cracking a clue. Because if we play a Skyclave, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 7 mana. Actually, we can double spell here. Maybe we go white. Maybe we play Mirran Crusader and Skyclave. So let's go ahead and Skyclave the Goyf. And then let's play Mirran Crusader. Swinging with the tracker. So I won't be playing the Mirren Crusader. Well, I guess Maelstrom Pulse, never mind, it has protection. I forgot about Maelstrom Pulse with the tokens. That was a good play by the opponent. It does have the board. I think probably had that in their opening hand, which is why they didn't take it off of the first position. But I think we're kind of running away with this game at this point. Push. That's fine. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So we can play Crusader and Courser. Swing in here. The 3/5. Going to be picking up a Knight of the Reliquary. We're going to have another draw here. There's a Lily. Going to have to down tick. Okay. That was a very... There's a path. Scavenging News. We were drawing gas. Honestly, this deck feels so good against Jund. Like, prior to this card, Skyclave, our Jund matchup wasn't even bad. Like, you just had to really play it really tight. And back then, it really came down to the Scavenging News. Like, I would value a Scavenging News over a tireless or a Knight of the Reliquary any day. Like, Tracker and Scoos were your two MVPs in, pre-Skyclave world. But now that Skyclave Apparition is a thing, it's so powerful with Collected Company. Just knowing that Collective Company can hit Skyclave, and a lot of the times does, you really want to wait until your opponent has something on the board. Because before, you would always want to Coco main phase, see if you can hit that, the Courser of Crufix, and then play a land off the top, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I mean, the matchup feels great. I mean, we are 4-0 against Jund in this league, and both 2-0s. You know what I mean? And that wasn't... Actually, it was the same freaking opponent. Go figure. But yeah, that wasn't even a contest there. Especially, I mean, those two games were insanely one-sided in our favor. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're 3-0, which is great. So, at least we're getting our money back. And the deck's feeling good so far. Like I said, I do want some minor adjustments. Knight of Autumn, I'm just not using at all. Mirren Crusader has been coming in clutch. I don't think I want to go to 3, though. I think... those games we would have been fine without Mirren Crusader. Obviously, our opponent held the bolt for that card. But as you saw there, like, Mirren Crusader, we didn't even necessarily need it. Now, one of those games, like the first round of the league, Mirren Crusader did come in clutch. We were able to remove Liliana off the board. I think in like game 2, it was definitely an MVP. So I think it's definitely a good 2 of in the sideboard. We haven't gotten to utilize Aven Mind Sensor just because we haven't come across Amulet or Storm or decks like that. But when you need Aven Mind Sensor, you need Aven Mind Sensor. And I think it's good enough in enough matchups with being a flyer that we just want to keep it. So these are definitely the 4 cards that I will be changing up for the next league. But I hope you guys enjoyed that League Match 3. I had fun playing it. So stay tuned for League Match 4, guys. More to come.